Hi everyone, welcome back to the MEP QAQC Pro channel. And today we are going to discuss a very important topics which is based on logs and tracker for a QAQC engineer as you can see in the screen. So if you are a QAQC engineer or aiming to be one, this video is for you. Today we are breaking down a key part of your role, the logs you need to prepare and maintain on site. So without any further delay, let's get on the topic. So the tracker which you need to prepare and maintain over all of your projects during from initial stage to final handing over of your project. So the first thing is what you have to do. First, you need to understand why, as a QAQC engineers, to control the documentation, why a QAQC engineer should control and keep recording everything which is going at site. So that is the main foundation for a quality engineer to maintain their records and effectively to be maintained during overall the project's quality assurance and control. So the first thing is you can prove that you are compliance with the specifications. You will prove that the inspection history and the approval record. You will identify the recurring issues, any NCR, SOR that has to be maintained in your trackers and logs. You will protect against your liability claims if something happened it means if suppose the project is gonna delay, so there should be an a record why it is delay and by whom it's delay, whether it's main contractor or from the client or from the consultant. So keeping the record in a specific way or in a proper way, so that will protect your against your claims. Support continuous improvement. So if you are finishing one project and jumping to another projects, so the lesson learned and whatever you have learned from your previous project, that all you can implement in your upcoming or new projects. So this is the foundation of controlling the documentation in a proper sequence and a proper way. So let's understand what are the different types of logs and the tracker we have. The logs maintained by MEP QAQC engineer. Effective log create traceability through the project cycle and serve as your first line of defense in disputes. So, so we are going to understand what are the different types of logs which can be maintained from initial stage to final stage. These are the topmost log, and based on project by projects, maybe you have so many logs, but these are the standard logs which you have to be maintained by anyhow, because this is a very essential topics, essential logs which is really needed for every project. So let's go to the one, which one is the first one for we have is the first one is inspection request log. Inspection request like WIR, MIR, or any inspection going outside, that whenever you are raising, that has to be tracked carefully whenever you are raising with the inspection date and when you are receiving from the consultant or the client. That needs to be tracked perfectly so that you can understand what's the status of the project. The same one is material inspection log. Then a non-conformance report, NCR logs. Whenever you are receiving NCR or you are issuing NCR to your contractor, so that need to be tracked perfectly. Site observation logs. It is same like NCR, but whenever you are raising a site observation log, site observation to your team or to the subcontractor, and whenever you are receiving from your client and consultant, that's need to be tracked perfectly so that you will understand when you are receiving the when you are receiving the SORs and when it's going to be closed. So there will be a sequence of that so that you can track fully of closeout of any NCR SORs. The next is test record. test record in terms of many, in terms of like test, not testing, commissioning only. Whenever if you are doing any material inspections for some equipment, from some mechanical equipment, some like electrical equipment like DBs, generator, UPS, and for mechanical like CRA units, VRF units, these are going through the FAT inspection, yeah, factory trace report, then certificate log, means the test certificate supplier will provide you during, the whenever you are submitting MIR. So there will be test record that need to be shall be shared by the supplier. So all this that test record, you test result, you can maintain in your log, so that whatever you have receiving through supplier, on which date, on what are the tests they has been done based on your specification and all. Then calibrations log, that log, like for MEP QAQC engineer, you are maintaining for your pressure gauge, then for the multimeters, for the caliber, then for the mega test, everything has to be, should be gone through the calibrated, that should be calibrated on your means the calibrated through all your projects. There should not be any due or delay for the calibration. Whatever your equipment using, that should be calibrated and valid date should be there. So through calibration log, you can track if something gonna like expire in the next month or upcoming month, so that you can notify to your team that this gauge or this mega machine gonna expire on the next month. So before that we need to renew the calibration, so that has to be tracked in the log. Then quality checklists for every installation, for every material inspection, for everything, you have, for sure you have a checklist for each and every system, so that need to be keep in a sequence, and the form numbers, everything you have to mention, so that you will understand what are the checklists you have, and if something is missing, so you from there you can track it, and you can prepare the checklist. Then the most important thing is the method statement ITP log. So in the initial stage, you are preparing the ITPs and method statement, that has to be tracked carefully throughout the project, because method statement is very important. Whenever you are going to start a work, that should have some method statement which should be approved through client or consultant. That should have some ITPs, that what are the way how the inspection would be tracked. So there will be an ITP for any specific work. So everything should be tracked in the log, so that you will understand carefully. If something is missing, you can easily make it. So these are all are the most the most important logs and tracker you have to maintain throughout your projects. So because so many engineers asked me, or even you have experience or non-experienced people, they ask me so many things, that what are the logs to be maintained by a QAQC engineer, whether you are electrical QAQC engineer, plumbing or mechanical or firefighting. These are the essential logs and tracker you need to maintain and throughout all your project. So let's go to understand some basics about some logs, how they are gonna be like inspection requests logs. So this is a very typical type of inspection. Like when you are submitting inspection, they have some unique numbers, location, date submitted, and current status, like pending, approval, rejected. So you can make your own logs where you will mention about the description of works, what inspection you raised, the numbers, which floors, which location, date submitted, and the status, like it is approved, non-approved, or it's under review with the consultant. So you can easily track your inspection. This is how it works. So this is why it is. So what is the why it is matter actually? Matter because you can prove if there is any delay and someone is trying to count you, that okay, why there is a delay and why it is not submitted yet. And if you already submitted the work, but still your project stakeholders are blaming to your team, so from the inspection track log, you can show them, okay, we have already submitted inspection on this day, and the inspection is under review or under a review with the client or consultant. So that is why it is important to maintain the inspection log, because from the inspection log is it is the very essential the things which can really save your project. If something like delay or any unliability or general liquidated damage or something, anything happen or is coming to your way through as a claim from the consultant side or a main contract, so through the inspection log you can easily track and prove your work has been done and approved or under review and whatever. This is why material inspection log is a very simple log. Why? What is this inspection? That is where you will track your materials, whatever the things are delivered at site, and quantities, everything you can track from your material inspection. And what are the like supporting documents if you are attaching, like mill test certificate or test certificate or country of origin. Through the material inspection, you can easily track your inspection and the associated documents through that inspection. So this is all about the material inspection log. Why it is matter? Because if you are using unauthorized material, if you are using unapproved material at site, you can easily track down that this material is not approved, and you can also easily identify before raising any material inspection. Second, if someone if anything came from the client or consultant stating that okay, the you have claimed 50% of materials are delivered at site, but the client or consultant said no, you have delivered 30%. Through the material inspection logs you can prove that okay, all the materials which we have raised and approved, that is all are tracked down in the material inspection log, and you can easily claim your quantity with the consultant and the client for the money. That is why it is matter. So this is all about material inspection logs, and I already made so many videos based on how you can raise the material inspections. You can check out my videos like WIR, how you can make it work inspection request. Everything I have explained in my previous video. You can go and check out that video. So one of the most important topic is non-conformance report. What is non-conformance report? That is already I explained in my previous video, and how you can close, how you can track. Everything I have explained in my previous video related to NCR. So what is actually NCR log and why it is matter, and what is the best practice that we will understand here. So a systematic record for all the non-conformance report you should on site, capturing description, date of identification, responsibility party, status of corrective action. So whenever you are receiving NCR, for sure, when you receive NCR, in the same time you need to go to your logs, track down, mention your NCR number, what is the description, and through your knowledge who will be responsible for that and who will be responsible to close out that NCR. So you need to mention and track down in your trackers, so that in future if someone asks how many NCR we have still open, through the tracker you can show them this is the NCR which we have received. Out of 50, we have closed 40, 20 is open, 20 is 20, sorry, 10 is open, or 5 is under review, and so on and so on. So from there you can easily understand people that what are the logs we have received and who are the responsibility parties. Then let's come to the section why it is matter. This is critical log in the backbone of quality control performance. It helps identify pattern of recurring issues, ensure deficiency are properly addressed, and provide documentation for contractual compliance. So, as you know, NCR is a very critical, and whenever you are receiving NCR, it's not just the documentation, it's a liability to close the NCR based on given periods of time. So through the NCR logs, you can also identify the what are the, if you are if you are receiving 10 NCR in a site, and when you mention the description or the issues, so through the issues, if something is coming repeatedly, so through that you can track down that okay, there is some issues which are coming repeatedly. So through that NCR log, you can track the repeated issues and helps to identify why we are getting NCR repeatedly for the same issues. So from there you can understand and you can give the feedback to your team that okay, we are receiving unnecessary NCRs based on repetitive issues, so we need to stop at site and to close to close with a contractual compliance and the contractual corrective action in order to avoid any further NCR for the same recurring issues. So from there you can understand what is the best practice. The best practice is the root cause analysis, corrective action plans with deadline, verification status, photographic and non-conformance, and implemented solution. So the best practice, as I told you, you need to identify what is the root cause analysis. You need to mention in your tracker for all the specific NCR. If there is a column of root cause analysis, so I would suggest to better to write the root cause as analysis in the tracker, because I know in NCR reports you are already mentioning, but if you have a tracker where you can mention the root cause analysis and corrective action plan, then you can also track down in the tracker for any root cause repeatedly that need to be addressed very very deeply in order to avoid such recurrence, or and means the action plan in to implement it and as a solution. So this is how you can the how this is how what this is what important of a tracker to understand how many NCR we have, what are the reason behind that, and why we are getting NCR repeatedly, and what are the root cause analysis, and why, if there is a root cause analysis, so why the corrective action is not implemented carefully, so that there will be no any further NCR based on same root cause. That is how it is. Okay, let's see the next one is site observation is the same one. Whenever you're receiving any NCR SOR that need to be tracked with date locations, from there you can understand why we are receiving SOR based on what reason. So SORs that need to be closed within a specific period of time. If you need to understand the difference between NCR and SOR, I already made a video based on this, because NCR and SOR is a very important part of quality control engineer to understand what is the basic things related to NCR and SOR. Then the test result log. You, as I told you, test results in many things. Whenever you are receiving any material, they should have testing reports, and so that you can make your own log. What are the This log is actually preparing for the tracker, just to track the material which are coming. They have their own material test reports, like meal test certificate, or like factory test report, or the SAT report, site test report, anything that need to be tracked carefully, so that you'll understand okay, this equipment has been gone through any tests which is as a part of your log, so that you can demonstrate, or you can you can provide to your consultant that okay, this equipment has been already tested internally with the supplier or manufacturer, so that the system has no any defect and all. So this is why we are making test result logs. And the last second one is the calibration log and the quality check log. Calibration, as I told you, you need to track your all the measuring testing equipment through the calibration dates, due dates, and certificate details. Certificate detail in terms of serial number, in terms of certificate number, everything you need to mention in your log, so that you can easily track any equipment's gonna expire in upcoming days, months, year, whatever. That is why we made calibration log. QAQC checklist log, where you will register your all the checklist installation, testing, commissioning, installation. You will make your own a perfect register showing that you have a perfect checklist for your projects during its execution to testing, commissioning to handover. Everything you have, so that you can prove easily that, or you can track easily for your all the installation which has been performing at site. So that is all about the logs, which is very, very important for any QAQC engineer to maintain and to track this log. You cannot ignore such logs, because whenever you are going through any audit, either internal or external, they will 100% they will ask this log, and they will ask you to demonstrate them. So you need to be aware why such logs are matter for AQAQC engineer. You cannot ignore at all such logs, because as I know, so many companies they have, or so many company in the local, in the local cultures, or you can say in the company culture, AQAQC engineers they are not maintaining their logs, which is not, which is totally not good for the QAQC engineer, because this will lead you as a good experience when you are maintaining, when you are tracking your log. So so everything will be under your minds, what is going at site, where you stand, where your project is stand, what is the status of your for any system. So through these logs you can easily track down everything. This is all about the quality checklist and the calibration logs, and further which we have already discussed. So this is all the fundamental logs for the QAQC engineers. So the best practice and the key takeaways which I can suggest as a experienced guy, or I have been taught by others, that what is the best practice, how we can maintain and track down. If you have digital, if you have any digital facility within your company, that is far better than paper documentation, because digital you can track easily, you can find easily, and you can identify the any document very easily, and it will reduce your this log of documentation. So there will be no lost, even someone is taking your documentation or all, but at least you have digital. Or if you lost somewhere such documentation, so you can easily find out in the digital. Since as I know, nowadays everyone is using the quality management tools like Econex, Asite, and so many software are there where that is actually made for the quality engineers. So you can easily track, you can easily submit your inspection, and everything can be very uh, consistently. Then the last one which I can suggest to, through this through this video, a best way, or through this through this log information, is the best way to communicate with all your stakeholders, whether your client, consultant, your engineer, your PM, your director, whoever is there. If you have a good presentation of your log, good tracker of your logs, and you can present your logs tracker to them as a very presentative way, this can lead you a good communication through good communication throughout your projects, because you are showing them what you have been done or what you have been doing at site, as a very which will be a very clear picture for them to understand through such logs. That is why everyone is insisting to prepare a log, which is not just a document. It is recommended, and it is very liability for everyone to understand why it is important to maintain documentation for all throughout your projects. So I hope I make things clear about uh, the logs and tracker which is required to maintain by a QAQC engineer and their team. So if you have any confusion or anything in your mind, please let me know, and or you can text me directly, or you can join through my the WhatsApp quality group where we used to discuss and sharing information everything's between us. So if any you have any questions and concern, please reach out to me through this video, or you can comment directly, and or you can join through me through the WhatsApp community. See you guys in the next video. Bye bye. Take care.